Okay. Greetings, Ekaro, Carol, Ekasan, Ekele. Welcome to my international African family. My name is Siraj Oloboyega Tukumbo Odukunle, and we are here today with another episode of Black Trauma Uncensored. Um, Yep, we have another great episode today. And before we get into it, I would also like to introduce the second host, ERA.
Akwaba, Akabo. Welcome to our African family, and we ready to dig in. We have another esteemed guest, very knowledgeable, very wise, Brother Sameeru of LA, South Central. Is that right? Did I get that right? South Central?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The main streets of South Central. So
Peace.
welcome, brother. Um,
Greetings.
you are so knowledgeable that, especially on this topic, we've had a lot of conversation, and you've said some profound things that I feel like the world need to hear. And
Right.
the way
Sure.
that you express it so eloquently and so plain that the message cannot be missed, with regards to the Black man's position in this world and the necessary support that we need for each other, brother to brother, and especially African woman to African man.
Right. Right.
Indeed.
Respect.
So
Respect.
I know our foundational framework you were speaking on was is Nana Dr. Francis Cress Welsing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Peace to everybody. Free the land. My name is Sameeru Shaja. Just brief background. I'm from South Central Los Angeles. Um, Worked with several uh, black organizations over 20 years, over 25 years actually. Um, Researcher, worked on a lot of different projects. Um, Once run a community library and think tank for about 7 years in Inglewood, California. Misplaced books. So got a long history of just doing different community work. Um, I work as a by my trade. I deal with men every day. I'm a barber, right? So I deal with men every day, and just community experience. Like I said, working in several projects from the prison industrial complex to gang activity to various different things. So throughout the years, dealing with men, dealing with brothers, black men, interacting with them, dealing with them, studying our issue in great detail. It has brought me to a lot of things, information that I like to share. And like I said, primarily today I just be coming from like the framework of like you said, Mama Wilson, um, dealing with this issue of, getting us back to where we need to be. You know what I'm saying, as a people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. As I was saying, earlier, Brother Sameeru, I'm looking forward to what you are going to be contributing to this because I too do community work, and I have my project, the Man in the Mirror project, and so forth. So I
Right.
come out to the States to host my lectures, the unpopular truth behind the Black man's abuse. So this is something I'm looking forward to.
Right. Okay. So I mean, I'm ready. I'm ready to get into it whenever y'all ready. Just let me know. You know what I'm saying?
And my apologies, because I just jumped straight in. We got the whole introduction, so I'm glad you were able to impart that so people know that you
Right.
actually, have some standing, right, and some
Right.
some
Sure.
experience. Because a lot of people get on their soapbox and they ain't been nowhere, ain't seen nothing, they ain't talked to nobody,
Right.
ain't been peer reviewed. But
Right.
yes, you definitely boots on the ground.
Yeah,
So, and
I have a track record. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
right. That's right.
If you run my name with some official activists in this city, they definitely know who I am. I've worked with many of them, and things like that. So I'm not
Hmm.
a black person or black male who doesn't interact with the community.
Hmm.
Talking recklessly, or I have
Hmm.
experience of actually interacting with our community and trying to resolve some of the issues that we suffer from.
Hmm. And so the name of the podcast is Black Trauma Uncensored, and we talk about intergenerational trauma. So, starting with respect, right? Um, a lot of buzzwords fly around, right? And people big on black love. That's one of them, right? And we
Right,
need it. It's very real,
right, right,
but people tend to shy away because we get caught up in our semantics. Well, I'm not black, or I'm not African, or I'm not this or that. So respect.
right,
Everybody embraces respect.
right,
What is
right,
your position when it comes to and I believe we discussed this about Nana Wilson and how she explained how we have to communicate and the language that we use in order to be able to um, be received, right,
right.
by the
Absolutely,
people. So the
absolutely.
difference between when we're talking about black love and respect, in your opinion, what is the blockage that we're having?
Right.
Why
Well,
can't we accept the black love? Why it has to be respect?
you're right, no doubt. Well, like Dr. Wilson said, one of her concepts was that black people don't love themselves. So
Mm,
when you say black love, that's falling on deaf ears
mm,
because they've been conditioned to be anti-black, as we all know. We've been conditioned to be anti-black, not to care about blackness, black people, black issues, black things, black history. So when you say, yeah, we need more black love, yeah, that's
right.
most black people don't really care about being black. They don't think it's important. They don't see the significance of it. So her theory was that before we can get to talking about black love, let's meet the people where they at and talk about black respect, self-respect. Because black people are obsessed with respect. As we know
Mm-hmm.
from just dealing with black culture, all three of us on this phone, from either side of the planet, we know black people was heavy on respect. You know what I'm saying? Don't disrespect me, man. Don't touch me. Don't get close to me. Whatever. Don't talk about. We
I
are
die about it.
overly, yeah, yeah. We are overly obsessed with this word respect. So she's like, yeah, we have to meet black people where what they at. So she said, let us use the term black self-respect. Do once we start dealing with black self-respect, since we are so obsessed with respect and this image of respect, if we start using the proper terminology, black self-respect, then this will eventually grow us to the other
Mm,
areas of black self-love, black love, and it could be really credible. You understand what I'm
mm,
saying? Because but before we do that, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Or it will be short-lived, like she said. It can happen, but then people will get off it real quick. Because why? This black mother effer did something to me. So F black. So now it's going back to the respect thing.
mm-hmm.
So one of her theories or concepts was that we have to develop strong black self-respect. Let us focus on that. Then we can evolve our people to black love. And she gave very detailed examples of what is black self-respect. Like she said, blacks people who respect themselves, right, do not
Mm-hmm.
allow their children to get killed in the streets.
Whew.
If our level of self-respect was high, if we truly had black self-respect the way we were supposed to, right, we wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
allow our children to get killed in the streets, whether that's by gangs or by the police.
Mm-hmm.
We would be there doing something about it. You understand what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? If our self-respect was high, we wouldn't depend on other people to educate our children or
Mm,
to educate us. You know what I'm saying? If we had a true level of respect, self-respect,
mm-hmm.
if our self-respect was high, we wouldn't put our economic destiny in the hands of people who are known to create
Mm.
markets and industries and things like this to stop our economic growth.
To exploit
All,
us.
all the way
Yes.
to yes, that's all the way to violence to exploitation.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? So people who have healthy self-respect, there's certain things that they don't allow to happen.
They got
Mm,
So,
boundaries.
right. So let us begin to focus on developing self-respect. Because self-respect ultimately, like she said, extends to the external, meaning the community, meaning the family, friends,
Hmm.
relationships, business
Hmm.
relationships, because once this level of self-respect, as she often said, um, once it becomes keyed in, now
Hmm.
you're going to respect the next black person. Why? Because you don't want to be disrespected like that.
Come
So
on.
once you start getting this high level of black self-respect, then you will automatically begin to extend that to the next black person. And then that domino effect will come from that will be love. Then when we
Hmm.
get to this love we talking about, as she said, you know what I'm saying? And now
Hmm.
this love, this new black love that we get to, it'll be rooted in self-respect. The foundation will be respect. Because we
Hmm.
know for true love to take place, respect has to be there as well.
Gotta be. Come
You know
on.
what I'm saying? For true love to truly be there, it has to be a respect thing. Because we know you can fall in love with somebody and out of love with somebody. And what are a lot of times you hear people say, well, I used to love that dude, or I used to love her, or I used to love that brother and the homie. And we ain't just talking about intimate relationships, we friendships,
Yeah.
homeboys, homegirls. I used to love how I used to have love for them. Well,
mm.
what
Hmm.
loss of love, man? I lost respect for that dude.
I
I lost
lost
respect for
respect.
her. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So, like she was saying, respect is the foundation of love. So right now, black people don't love themselves. We need to be clear on that. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Everybody on this line may have a healthy dose of black love, but the average black person does not have love of being black. And
How
how
can I
could they?
respect you if I don't love me? I don't respect me. Look
Don't
at the way I,
respect
I
me.
walk around. Look at
Exactly.
my image, right?
Exactly.
Look at how I expose myself, right?
Right.
That's not love.
Yeah. You know what I'm
And,
saying?
and then not only as a woman, if I am exposed, right?
Mhm.
What position does that put that black man in, right?
Yeah.
So now not only am I'm compromised, I'm jeopardizing him, right?
Mm,
Yeah. And it's vice
And then we
versa.
have an expectation on top of that. I could do what
yeah.
I want to do, how I want to do it, right? I
Yeah.
could say what I want to say, how I want to say it to whoever, and then
Yeah.
I want somebody to cape for me. Wait a
Right.
minute now. Not when you walked out the door with no self-respect.
Right.
and
Absolutely. I
and then
think
attracted the disrespect, and now
Right.
you want somebody to stand up.
Yeah.
mm, I think another contributing factor to that is racial esteem. Racial esteem plays a big part of um that black love, because when there's that racial esteem, there's that grounding, yeah, and there's that code of conduct, yeah. So that is also another contributing factor.
No,
Code of conduct.
I don't disagree with that at all. But when we
Mm,
talk about, well, I classify myself as a counter racist scientist, right? That's what I classify myself as. I study the works of Dr. Wilson and Nellie Fuller in detail. So, in the tradition of counter racist science, let's talk about that. Racial self esteem. Again,
mm,
it still goes to the point. How can racial self esteem be established without self respect? We develop racial self-respect because we develop the respect for ourselves, our history, our tradition, our culture, our background. It was through this act of respect. You understand what I'm saying, my brother? You
yeah.
develop this racial self-esteem will come from when you begin to respect. Okay, let me because when we don't have racial self-esteem, pardon me, right? We
Mhm.
Mm,
don't respect what? Who we are.
That's
absolutely.
right.
We don't
Mm,
respect all that. That's all that African-ish. That's all that black-ish. You know what I
mm,
mean? We
Mhm.
literally say black defecation describing our greatness.
Mm.
Right? You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? We call it that. Y'all don't know if I can curse on here or not, but it's
Mm.
like that's what we refer to. All that black-ish, all that African-ish. Hold up.
Mhm.
Right. So we will always see the origin is respect, my brother. Because it's through developing this respect of who we are,
Mhm.
our history, our folklore, our mirror ways, our traditions, things like that. Then we will develop what? The racial self esteem. Then once we begin
That's
to
right.
develop the rest of self-esteem, we'll begin to develop what? Like she said, the love. It's a domino effect. But it
And so says
has,
Garvey.
yeah, it has to start with the respect. You know what I'm saying? Because when we
Hmm.
look at all these movements, these people we love, Marcus Garvey, El Haj Malik Shabazz, Kwame Ture, Fannie Lou Hamer, Huey Newton,
Ashe, Ashe, Ashe,
Maurice Bishop, Thomas Sankara, Walter Rodney, all these
Ashe.
individuals we just named had self-respect.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm
But
saying?
they also gave us a pathway, and they stood up and
Yes.
said, "This is how we do what we need to do." And so you
Exactly.
brought up Nina Fuller, because you
Yeah.
can't talk about. I mean, you could, but we like balance
Right.
here. So when you talk about
Right.
Nana Wilson, we gotta talk about Nana
Have to.
Fuller,
Have to.
right?
You know what I'm
Because
saying?
by
Have
no
to.
means was he confused about the reality of the situation and the society in which we live,
No, yeah,
right?
by no
There was
means.
no delusion.
I
Listen,
mean, his classic
we
saying, which I love to repeat, if you don't understand racism,
understand.
white supremacy, everything you
Yes,
think you understand will
Um,
only confuse you.
that's right.
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Ashe.
And I that's a very prolific true statement. And
Mm,
so and again, that's what I'm saying. So us developing this self-respect, developing this thing, it's a much easier conversation because I need to know it myself. I deal with a lot of youth. I talk to the youth. I be like, listen, little, hey, little brother, if you respect yourself like that, you wouldn't move like that. And I get their ears right away. They hear that word
Hmm.
respect right away. And I started seeing a difference. When I be like, hey, little brother, you come from a history of kings and warriors and doctors and scientists and that. They didn't hear none of that. Oh, yeah, whatever, homie.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It was desperate enough. But when I say, hey, look here, little brother, if you really have respect for yourself, you wouldn't move like that. Right away. Okay, what you saying, OG? What?
Hmm.
I get
Hmm.
full attention. What's up, big homie? What you saying, OG? Hold up, wait. Now they like to call you Unc, which I don't mind. What you saying, Unc? Hold up, Unc. Run that back to me.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When I use that word respect, right away, you understand what I'm saying? But if I start talking about, oh man, you can't get it, I could get to that later. But
Hmm.
when they hear that thing about you challenging their level of respect for themselves, because they all think they have a healthy level of respect for themselves.
mm,
Hmm.
No matter how dysfunctional we are as black people, we think we all respect ourselves.
Hmm.
We'll
yeah.
all say that. It's a false claim that a lot of oppressed people make.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
respect myself. How you respect yourself? You got a 40-inch blind weave in your head.
Mm.
But they'll tell you that
Send it.
they do, though. I respect my hell. How? That don't even look like you
How?
aesthetically. We could probably believe that if you had an afro wig on, right? Or even a dreadlock wig, maybe, right?
Hmm.
It's like, okay,
Hmm.
we might be able to say it, but you got
Hmm.
the 40-inch Indian silk press or the blonde one at that. You know what I'm saying? Or you understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So again, it's like, yeah, where is the self-respect really that high? Right? Like so, I mean, again, I just think that's like one of the primary strategies I use when talking to our people that I've been getting more progress with. And I recommend I give it all the praise and credit due to Dr. Wilson with that because like she said, black people who are obsessed with self-respect. I challenge anybody on this line who's seeing that, test that theory. And you will get results. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And other brothers and sisters I've shared it with have told me the same thing. Yo, man, that's real what you're saying. I get more positive results when I speak from that angle. Because it's like now we can bring them to, the deeper conversations and things like that when we use the term self-respect. Because like again, we're all obsessed with respect.
You mentioned young men, and
Mm-hmm.
so I want to touch on the lowering of the black man. Um, in what way do you see the disconnect? Because we're talking when you say the young boys, the young
Mm-hmm.
men versus the older men,
Mm-hmm.
and in this cesspool of a society,
Mm-hmm.
our men are not respected, right? and they're treated as less than.
Yeah.
So, do you see the younger men trying to overcompensate to not succumb to that lowering that they see of their elders?
Yeah, and again, it's usually obsessed with this thing called respect, right? I'm gonna act in this manner because ain't nobody gonna disrespect me. You feel me? I'm gonna be extra. I'm gonna be extra niggerish. You know what I'm saying? You step on my shoe, I'm punching you, or you say something to me crazy, I'm pulling up. You know what I'm saying? When it's up, it's up. This whole thing, and like I ain't that. Even how we see a lot of us running around with these t-shirts on, we not our ancestors. We're
Oh,
definitely not, right? But it's just like, we're definitely not. But even that,
can't
that's an
not walking like
example.
that.
That's an example though of how they think they doing something different. You understand what I'm saying? But many of them are not doing anything different. They just reacting to the same institutional racism, the same systematic white supremacy. Because, like
Mm,
Franz Fanon said, the oppressed black man does nothing but pass the same down oppressed struggle to his son until he
Mm,
overthrows that system. You know what I'm saying? Like Franz Fanon said, "Rich of the Earth." All the oppressed African does is pass the same oppression to his son. So,
great
intergeneration.
book, Wretched of the
yeah,
Earth.
yeah. So many of us, yeah, they may think that's what they doing, but it's the same. It's the same struggle. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
they get the same thing because many of the older black men have done the same thing. They've backed away from the call. What is the call? To overthrow racism and white supremacy. So since they've seen the older black men back away from the call, then why should they participate? They're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna get mine. I'm gonna go get me some money. I'm gonna go get this paper. I'm gonna go get these women. I'm gonna go get this and that.
Material.
Because yeah, they're not seeing the men above them overthrowing racism, white supremacy. So then why should they do the same thing?
Mm,
Rather, they see the
Right.
black man over them telling the man, just get your money, get your bread, get your paper. Get your paper, get your bread, everything else gonna come, everything else gonna fall in line. That's what
mm,
we telling these young brothers, and that's a lie. Everything don't fall in line when you get your paper.
You got to go get it.
absolutely. So with the older generation, how do you feel, you know, us who are older, like how can we break that cycle? How can that cycle be broken?
Getting active
Mm,
in the community, even if it's on your own circle of brothers, you know. I believe in the grassroots. Small changes. I believe change comes from the bottom up, not the up down.
That's right. From the
You
root.
know, when we study the history of empires, they was built from the bottom. They
Beyond
was
the
always
screen.
they was always built from the bottom. You know
mm,
what I'm saying? So I just think that's how we break that cycle. As men, particularly black men, we want to break that cycle. Get into your neighborhood, start interacting
yeah.
with the youth in your neighborhood.
Programs.
Start interacting with the grown men in your neighborhood too. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you need comrades, you need peers, you need allies. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
So I would just say that's how we break that cycle, man. We get involved in our communities, we get involved in our families, and even that we can start with the family.
mm,
Get more involved in your family, man.
The front line.
Yeah, talk to you. If you're a black man, you got children, spend more time with your children.
Hmm.
Teach your children the things that you know to be important, that you feel that's important.
Be their
That's
primary educator.
yeah. So it's just that chain of command. That's what I believe. So I believe black men have to start in their communities, in their families, in their neighborhoods, their nations, wherever they at. You know what I'm saying? Start there. You know what I'm saying? And build up. Because like I say, change comes from the bottom up. It is
mm,
not the other way around. It comes from the bottom up. And we can study that across humanity. Every movement, every history, it don't matter who we study, those movements come from the bottom up.
Hmm.
absolutely.
You
And
know, so
also,
that's what I mean, that's how I believe we could break the cycle. And it's just simple things, man. Sometimes it's just start as simple things. At a time, I used to be in a mind frame of If you wasn't talking about picking up the gun, you wasn't talking about nothing, right?
Yeah.
And Mr. Fuller
Warrior.
actually, it was through studying the code of Mr. Fuller, right, that got me out of that thinking. Because, like he said, yo, anything that you see a black person doing that's constructive, it's going to make a difference.
Hmm.
Because our people were suffering in all areas of people activity.
And he's a military
Economic,
man.
yeah, exactly. But it just still, like,
Hmm.
you know, whenever we see a black person doing something constructive, I don't even care if it's something simple as yo sweeping your neighborhood block. You know what I'm saying? Like feeding the homeless in your neighborhood, running some basketball games with the youth in your neighborhood. I don't, whatever. Like, but do something constructive. And that's, I believe, will be the change. Like I said, I used to be into the mentality, just all about poor out revolution. If we ain't talking about doing this, it ain't real. You know what I'm saying? And that's was false thinking. I evolved in my understanding, but at the time, that's where my mind was at. You know what I'm saying? But it was through struggling to learn our people's history, our people's experiences and backgrounds on a global level. I began to see, it's not all about that. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It's
There's a
about
place for
some,
it, but that's
yeah,
not.
it's no, it don't, it definitely has its place, but it's not, it's so many
It's
other
not the be
things,
all end all.
yeah, at all. That's like the highest level.
Right.
So it's
And we're
like,
not there yet.
yeah, so how we gonna get people to that highest level where we haven't even, instead of saying got them through these basic levels of,
Right.
man. That's one of the reasons why I
We have to
believe
fill Donna
COINTELPRO was
Clark's
so.
circle of needs. We ain't even got the
Yeah,
foundational needs met,
yeah. I
but
believe
we
that's
ready to
one of
go
the
to
reasons.
war.
I believe that's one of the reasons why COINTELPRO was so successful.
Mm.
Because when in the black what was in the black liberation movement when it became in the '60s, when it became so much
The
about
original BLM.
yeah, off the pad, off, yeah, right. When it became hyper focused on off the pig per se, right? Which we're not saying anything wrong with, but when you become hyper focused on that, then it's people who haven't went through the proper cultivation and training and things like
It's a
that. So then when
process.
that starts becoming more of a reality, what does that create? It creates turncoats. It creates people who be like, damn, I'm not really about that life. You understand what I'm saying? Because we put a gun in their hand before even teaching them about, like Thomas Sankara said it best. An untrained man with a gun is a blind soldier. And
Mm.
a blind soldier will take orders from whoever and will betray whoever.
Like they're doing our young men in the Congo right now.
Exactly. So, we don't need no more blind soldiers, right? You know what I'm saying? We need
We
people
need
who
well studied
truly.
warriors,
Yeah, exactly. Right. So
trained.
we get through those fundamental things, like again, teaching the importance of community, teaching the importance of family, teaching the importance of respect,
And
teaching the
that's why the
importance
code
of
was important.
Mm.
exactly,
Absolutely.
exactly. And
Yeah.
yeah, and that too, I just want to run through that real quick, man. When you say
Hmm.
one of the things I think that we can use to break the cycle, I always recommend the 10 Basic Stops by Nelly Fuller. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because people always say we gotta stay on code. We gotta stay on code. We hear that
But they're
popular
not
term
studying the code.
being thrown all over
Mm.
the internet. So it's like, okay, well, whose code we talking about
Right.
when we say we stay on code? So I want to be specific. I'm talking about the code of Nelly Fuller, right? The 10
Hmm.
basic stops. If we start practicing the 10 basic stops in our community, you know what I'm saying? Then yeah, absolutely. A lot of this change that we want to see happen will happen. And I'm talking about we get very serious about practicing the 10 basic stops. And when we look at the 10 basic stops, it's a lot of problems that take place in our community and nations. Like he said, black people should stop fighting with one another. You know what I'm saying? No, excuse me. He start off, stop name calling with one another,
Hmm.
right? Stop arguing one another.
Hmm.
Stop fighting one another. That's three. Stop killing one another. That's four. Now, if we just stop and do it that four right there. If we start fighting, stopped arguing, stop name calling, Stop killing. Now we all know, we all from the diaspora on this thing. We know
Mhm.
most quote unquote black murder, black genocide that takes amongst black people usually starts off with what? Name
You
calling,
call me out my name.
some arguing,
Yep.
which might lead to some fighting, which can
Mm-hmm.
easily end up getting into some killing. You understand what I'm saying? Then he
Mm-hmm.
says, stop selling drugs to one another. Stop buying and selling drugs to one another. Now, me, I'm from LA. I saw how the crack epidemic destroyed LA.
Mm.
I'm old enough to remember what Black LA looked like before crack came. Shout out to Ronald Reagan, right?
Mm.
So
Right.
it's like when the crack epidemic came, it uprooted Black LA, uprooted it.
Mm-hmm.
You have black professionals, judges, lawyers, engineers. It didn't just affect the street person, the layman. It
Mm-mm.
uprooted everything. So, like he said, that let's stop selling drugs, stop buying and selling drugs to one another. The crack epidemic did all five of these things that he said stop doing alone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
How
Six,
and we call it the track.
literally,
That indeed it
right?
is.
Six, like he said, stop snitching on one each other. Now he gave a good definition of snitching, which is the only definition of snitching, right? That he said snitching is when a black person tells on another black person involved in constructive behavior. He or she goes and gives information to the white supremacists to harm that black person. Fred
Mm.
Hampton, for example,
Mm-hmm.
Bunchy Carter, John Huggins. You understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Various people that
I
we can
say, I say,
continue
I
to go
say.
name down where informants went to white people and gave information that got them Momia, right? We can go
Mm-hmm.
on and on. Black people who was killed are in prison because we still got a lot of black people in them dungeons now
Mm-hmm.
that ain't been out, right? We're in there because somebody snitched on them. So we ain't talking
True
about a
political
dude,
prisoners.
right?
So when
So we're
we
not talking about somebody who hit your mom in the head and took her purse, right?
no.
Because I come from the time, because I had a past before consciousness where snitching was understood as when you commit the crime with a person, and then when y'all get
You get
caught,
caught.
you tell on the person you committed the crime on.
That's snitching, right?
That's the
In the
street
street.
definition of
In
snitching,
the
right?
streets.
But now we've applied that to everything, and
You
that's
can't.
not it. The lady
Right.
called the police on you because you out in front of her house pimping and selling drugs. She's not
You're
snitching.
not snitching.
She's doing her job. She's not part of your world, sir. She's not part of the underground activity. That man that calls the police on you because he saw you still in that car, right? You know what
You
I'm
cannot hold
saying?
him to that code.
You can't hold him to that code. He's not involved in that world.
That's right.
So you can't say he's snitching. So even that, that's why the definition of snitching that Nelly Fuller gave us was brilliant. Because that's what he said. Stop telling on black people involved with constructive behavior to help black people stop going to white people, giving them information that's going to harm that black person.
Mm-hmm.
That's snitching. We need to be clear on that. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
That that what he's like that definition of snitching, that's on point.
That's all it is.
Like he said, stop rape,
Mm.
stop murder. That's one of the basic stops.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of this, you know what I'm saying? If we go through the 10 basic stops just alone, even that, if we just sat up and imagine, if we didn't deal with the first four basic stops, right? If black people globally made a commitment to we're not gonna argue with each other, we're not gonna name call one another, we're not gonna fight one another, we're not gonna kill one another. Imagine if black people made that pact globally, that no matter
Mm.
what, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna come drop some guns off to us and we're gonna go kill that tribe over there. Cause you know what I'm saying? We
Right.
really don't rock with them because over 500 years ago they stole some goats from my great great grandfather or whatever, right? So, but imagine if we got to that level of commitment
Hmm.
globally.
Mm.
If we, and we need imagination. Imagination is important to anybody trying to be free.
Imagination.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Come
But
on, Ashe.
yeah, imagine if we
Mm.
really got to that point, my brother and sister, that if we made a true commitment to the code, right, that we are not going to fight, argue, kill, you know what I'm saying, our
Mhm.
name call each other. Look at South Africa right now.
Mm.
These some of our
Nana
foolish
Amos
people over
Wilson.
there.
I'm sorry. Image a
Yeah.
Yes,
nation.
yeah,
Imagination. If you can image a nation. He
yeah,
broke that down. So yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So it's like, look at South Africa now. We got South Africans killing Nigerians, killing Ethiopians.
Mm-hmm.
They just killed 7 Ethiopians in South Africa the
Colonialism,
other day. Right.
colonialism at its finest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But y'all ain't killing the British that's still over there running stuff.
Mm.
Mm.
But your economic conditions so bad, you blame them. They bringing
Exactly.
these Nigerians over here. They bringing these Rwandans over here. That's why we ain't got nothing. No, you ain't got nothing because you're not in control of your country.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
The European is still in charge of your country. That's why you ain't got nothing. Them Africans is in your country because they can't get it in theirs.
Mm.
Y'all got the same common problem. So
Mm-hmm.
imagine if we truly got on code, right? And say, you know what, man, no matter what you do, you know what I mean, white boy, I ain't gonna fight this man. This my brother. I'm cool off you. Get on up out of here. They wouldn't.
Right.
They plots were for your brother. We wouldn't even have to pick up a gun. They plots were for you. If we just got so
Mm-hmm.
committed to the point that we are not going to fight and argue with each other and kill
Mm.
one another,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Over any type of stupidness. Now, I just want for the record, because
Yeah.
Mr. Fuller clarified, and I want to clarify too. I'm not telling you if a black person is trying to kill you unjustly or harm you unjustly that you let them do that. And if you defend yourself, you're not off code. You're practicing self preservation at that point. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? But we're talking about intentional, just you out here trying to harm black people, man. I'm just saying because if we could imagine that,
Right.
how effective it would be.
And it can happen.
We're in Troy right now. This man had over 20 assassination attempts right now. Even
Mm.
his bodyguard came out and said France offered him $1 million to kill Ibrahim Traore. And then they told him kill him while he was praying. Wait till he pray and kill him.
Mm.
And fortunately, that brother had integrity and his
Mm-hmm.
code, he was so committed to the cause, he turned down the goddamn money. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But he let it be known that France offered him $1 million, which really ain't no money. Ain't
And
no money.
none. It is
Mm.
not.
To kill somebody that's trying to empower your whole nation. You understand what I'm saying? We're gonna give
The
you $1 million.
African nation.
Yeah. And
Mm.
then told him on top of that, this will show you how devious minded the person is we'll be dealing with. They told him, yeah, make sure you kill him when he praying. Make sure to kill him while he
Hmm.
praying. You understand what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
this is the sickness of the people we dealing with, which we as men need to understand. And I just want to say as men because men are always the muscle. Men defeat other men. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Women and children are the spoils of war. Period. It's always been that way, and it's still that way now.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Men check men. Men
That's
have to
right.
Absolutely.
keep men in balance.
Mm.
I say it all the time. You ain't gonna find me arguing with no man. I don't
Yeah,
listen. We got a disagreement. You got to talk to one of my brothers.
yeah.
I don't have
Because
no
it's
problems with you.
it will always be that.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Brother Siraj.
Yeah. So I'd say it can happen. Imagination goes a long way, and it's up to us to lead by example. That's why we appreciate you, brother Sameeru, when you um, highlighted ancestors. You highlighted those ancestors who led by example. Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
this is what this is the information we use today to educate, to incorporate into frameworks where we can do work, we can facilitate workshops and these workshops can be introduced to our people globally.
Mm-hmm.
So these things
Mm-hmm.
it can be done, because there's a
Adults
lot of,
and children.
exactly, and there's a lot of brilliance among us in order to do that. So we
Absolutely.
appreciate you for calling the names of those who stood
Ashe.
before us and who was doing the work. We appreciate you, bro.
Oh no, I appreciate y'all, man. And I just believe that's what we have to see ourselves as. It was a brother who got me started on this path by the name of Didon Kamathi. He was a part of the
Ashe.
All African People's Revolutionary Party.
Mama.
And
Hey,
that brother was very critical of my development. One of the many black men who was critical of my development, and that was one of the things that he emphasized to me a lot was that you are Fred Hampton, you are Malcolm X, you are Walter Rodney, you
All the
are
men.
Maurice Bishop, you are you know what I'm saying,
Junior.
Huey Newton, you
mm,
are these people, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, you are them, and you have to move in that direction. You know what I'm saying? See,
Ashe.
so when they say, "Oh, ain't no other Malcolms coming," like he used to say, "Nah, nah,
We
nah, you
here.
the next Malcolm, you him. Quit saying ain't no more Malcolms coming. You him. You are him.
Come on.
Go be him.
Embody that.
Quit saying ain't no more Fannie Lou Hamer's coming. You Fannie Lou Hamer.
We
Quit
here.
saying ain't no more Asada Shakur is coming. Like he used to tell me, you are her. You Asada
Ashe.
Shakur. Quit saying ain't no,
Ashe.
the sisters, ain't no more Harriet Tubman. You Harriet Tubman. You Queen Mother Moore. You are.
That's right. Queen is in
Because
your art.
you
Come on.
studying their works. You inspired by them, and they was inspired by somebody too. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just
That's
like, yo,
right.
man, we have to understand that we are dealing with a protracted global collective struggle. And anywhere you point on this globe, you're gonna find a black person who is working to make a difference and off turn this system for you. And all you gotta ask yourself is which one I'm gonna build on after. You know what I
That's
mean? You
right.
could take your pick. You want to be the next Malcolm? Go be Malcolm. Go be. You want to be the next, you know what I'm saying? Fred Hampton? I'll go be him. Because
That's
I'd
right.
rather see you being Fred Hampton than LeBron James or one of these rappers,
Whoever, right. Nah.
50 Cent, something like that. Go be Fred Hampton. Go try to be that person to the best of your ability. You know what I'm saying? Because we are them people. We living in the same struggle as them. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like we in the same struggle as them. Like I said, the ancestors, elders starts telling me ain't no such thing as a Superman. We all in the same struggle, man. Some of us was just braver than others, and some of us was more intelligent than others, and some of us were more eloquent than others. But we can match that energy. We can
That's right.
we can take or we can add on to it.
We can resurrect
Or
and
add
build.
on. Or add on. You feel me? Like that's one of the brilliant things I love about Nelly Fuller as well in his work. Like he said, listen, the code, it's not like he used to say, this ain't a religious book, this ain't the gospel. You might see stuff in this code that need modification. Modify it,
Mm-hmm.
add to it. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, you might see things that need to be taken away. We don't need to practice that no more. Like he said, add to it because that's another thing I think we need to think on is just adding. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's like we ain't got to get rid of everything the people who came before us had. We need to add on to it though, because we got something
Mm-hmm.
that they don't have. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm
And the
saying?
product
And
is valuable to the time,
right, that's
right?
what I'm saying. So we can just
Yeah.
even get to the perspective
You,
of adding on
um,
to
the 9 areas of people activity. Then
it. Right.
Donna Wilson came. Then it was 10, and then and the
Yeah,
next
exactly.
12. Now it's 17
Exactly.
because
Even
we
like you said,
realized, okay,
he
we
wrote
need
he
this
wrote a
too.
whole nother book because he realized he made a mistake in the first compensatory code. So then he wrote the compensatory code again with a word guide. Okay, so
Mhm.
because he reviewed the work and he saw errors in it, so he wrote another one and he added more to it. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like that's the thing. That's why I said we're dealing with a protracted struggle. We've
Mhm.
been at war with these people for a long, 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 long time. So it's certain things that we might have to go back and resurrect, and there might be certain things from back then we need to leave off. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Not it's not a disrespect to those who came before us, but it was like that strategy
That
worked
was
then.
then.
It's not gonna work now. We don't disrespect them because they did what they had to do right then, and they
That's
made the
right.
move that they had to make the move to get the
That
progress
was
that
the
they
tool for
got.
the time.
Right. So now we gotta add to it. And then like I said,
That's right.
sometimes we might just have to go right back to that old
Same
thing.
hope for ourselves.
Yeah, sometimes it's that. So, we just gotta be open. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like open to that. And it's just like, I wanted to read something to y'all from Dr. Wilson that I thought was, right in line with the subject that we have. You know what I'm saying? And that's talking about, because one of the things that she was real big on, and I was listening to her interview, I was trying to find it so I can even some kind of way give it to y'all as a soundbite, but I couldn't find it. But she was talking about how Harvard offered her a blank check and told her, you can put whatever you want on in here, just start talking, just stop talking
Stop.
about black men and racism of black men. They told her just stop doing that. And we'll give you this. Well, we'll make you the
Whatever
number
you
one
want.
psychiatrist in America and even in the world. You know what I'm saying? Just stop talking about this. And
Mm.
it was just like, and it
Because if
was
you
just
stop talking about the lowering of the black man, they might rise up.
exactly. And
Hmm.
it's just like, because like she was saying that in order to conquer any nation, you first have to conquer the men.
Talking to man.
You know what I'm saying? Now, many will say, "Oh, that's of course, today she'll be called a pygmy. She'll be called everything else."
What?
But if we
Listen.
just, you know what I'm saying? But if we just think, well, if we just get out of our, our dogmas sometimes, right, and
Hmm.
our emotions, and let's just look at what she said.
In our
Fact,
trauma.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And our trauma, right? Look at what she said. Is that not true?
It's a fact.
We have
Our
no
first line of
historical.
defense.
Yeah, we have no historical record of an all-woman military showing up on the shore taking over any nation. We don't have no historical record of that. You know what I'm
We
saying?
got a
Like,
record of them defending, but not showing up
yeah,
on the
it's
shore. Okay.
taking over a whole
That's right.
nation, like she said. We don't have, and that ain't about black. No, there's no human history of it where an all-woman military showed up on the shore of a nation and took it over. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the point she was talking about with lowering the men. Because when you lower men, it's not, we ain't even just talking about in terms of warfare. Because
Hmm.
a man, as we know now, and we have been getting more enlightened through our struggle, right? A man is much more than just a protector and a provider, for me, as they say, right? So we understand that. However,
Hmm.
we can't deny this reality, though, that men, you know what I'm saying, protect nations and they stop things from
Absolutely.
being, conquered and destroyed. And usually, when a nation is conquered or destroyed, it's by another group of men. So that's what she's
Absolutely.
saying. If we make black men low and we keep black men concerned about the low things, right? His bank account, his bedroom, you know what I'm saying? His closet.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? His status. If we keep him obsessed with them type of things, then he ain't gonna be thinking about power. He
And
ain't
as
gonna
a
be
woman,
yeah,
that's exactly what we have to steer away from. We think
yeah,
that's the go to in order to get the man.
yeah,
And then men who have some sense, that's not what they primarily attracted to. You might be something to play with for the moment, but
yeah.
ultimately, that's not longevity.
No, it's not. Yeah, see right here.
So,
I want
mhm,
to this paragraph by Dr. Wilson. I'll try to make it as quick as possible. She said, I have been working with black mothers of black male trimmed children, attempting to help them rid themselves of the fear of their sons and their men dying, which pushes them unconsciously to make babies of their sons and their husbands in effort to try to protect and defend them. This
mhm,
response is the exact reverse of what is needed under the conditions of racism and white supremacy.
that's right.
Black women must learn to rear sons and allow their husbands to become the functioning men they need to be. And
That's
their
right.
primary function is not to get a good job, right? She says,
Hmm.
and a nice car, Rather, their primary function should be to defend, protect, and support their people in
Come
that
on.
order, right? Even should
Mhm.
death be the consequence. That the black male is not a sex machine, right? He should not only be viewed for his beauty and his status and his good looks. Rather, we should get it more into the firm mentality of affirming him as not just a protector, but a developer
Mhm.
of black people. You know what I'm saying? And this must be learned during his rearing process.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? And as default, there will be good jobs that will come.
I
You know what I'm
say.
saying? And self-respect, you know what I'm saying, once the people are liberated. There will be no true self-respect until that task is completed. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so
I say. I say. I
this is
say.
clear. Like she said, so as a black man, your primary role, black man, and more black men are getting into that now, but they get into it in the wrong way. I ain't about to be just spending my money on a chick. No, that's part of manhood, right? But that should not be your only concept of manhood. You know what I'm saying? Don't judge yourself by the ability to provide or this thing, or I got this car or that. No, 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 no.
Status.
Those, you know what I'm saying? Like she said, those will be byproducts of you becoming a developer, becoming someone who's on power. Because what people who develop do? People who develop, they build institutions,
Produce.
they
Right.
build programs, they build, you know what I'm saying, relationships, they build communities, they build nations. A
Mhm.
developer is a way more beneficial thing to be
Mhm.
than a dude that look good and I got a lot of women, I
Right.
got a lot of nice clothes, I got a real nice car, you know what I'm saying? But you're a coward.
Mhm. You have
Intellectually,
no discretion. You have no
yeah,
discipline. You have no
intellectually you're a
restraint.
coward. And we're not even just talking about physically. Intellectually, you're a coward. Economically, you're a coward. We can look at some of the most brilliant black men we know. They run the companies that they work at, but they're afraid to go start their own.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? They run the company where they work at, but they're afraid to go start their own. They have this
Mhm.
subconscious fear that they can't do it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And that comes
Speaking
from
of, not to cut your wisdom, but
no, go
before
ahead.
we do go, don't forget that we do want to promote you and what you have going on in the community.
Yeah, I
Because
was about to
everything that
say,
you're speaking to, you actually are the epitome of as you continue to grow on your journey and being a developer and providing for the community and still being active within the community.
yeah, one of the things that we do is hold the line barbering. Not this month, but
Hold the
next month.
line.
Next month, we got a group of barbers I work with. We do free haircuts in Lamert Park. Have the last Sunday of every month. So if you show up, you know, we gonna give you a free haircut. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's like adults,
Because what does that do?
adults, kids.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that we do it is because we try to one as men, the men I work with in this situation, we believe that black men need to get into the habit of just giving to give, no expectations. So, like the brothers Siraj asked earlier, what are some of the things we can do as black men? That's one of the things we can do. Create things where we're giving to our community with no expectations.
Hmm.
We not worried about getting a grant or getting some praise or getting. We just trying to from the heart give something to our people because our people need help. Our people need
Hmm.
help, and so become that example. Because again,
Absolutely.
we talk about what I'm saying, what we want to see in our community, but a lot of times that we don't do it. One of the things I
And we
want
have
to see,
pride.
right, and
I
one of
look
the things
good.
I
I
want to
feel
see in
good.
our community is us giving back to each other more. So
Hmm.
this is why me and a couple of the brothers I work with, we started this. We want to try to make this a trend. People actually providing us free service for their community. They're not necessarily, it's you ain't we ain't, just give something to your people. Just getting into the habit of giving something, to help another black person. And they do. We got all type of people that come. We got brothers that come,
And
women,
all profit is not money.
single mothers come. They bring their children, and I don't cut children. but
Mhm.
I cut children that
Mm.
day. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Mhm.
so we just, we
Brother
just,
Samira,
yes, yeah,
sorry to cut your wisdom.
it's all good.
How can our global African family find you? What's your social media handles? Is it how can they get in contact with you?
Okay, yeah, no problem, man. They can get in contact with me. I have a barber Instagram. It's plush cuts two. Plush cuts
The
two.
number two.
The number two. Yep. Plush cuts two. Um, yeah, that's the
That's
best way. I'm
PLUSHCUTS
sorry.
number two.
I'm sorry about that. Yes, PLUSH cuts number two. Because my first bar page got hacked. You know what I'm saying? So it's plush cuts too. So
Yeah,
that's
we've all been victims
right. Yeah. So
of the hacking.
Yeah.
they could reach me there, no problem. You know what I'm saying? And I'm actually just rebuilding that page right now. So, but
Okay.
yeah, anybody they want to get in contact with me, they can reach me at that page.
We
Yeah, we
appreciate you.
yeah, we
Appreciate
appreciate you sharing,
Man,
it.
so much. So what I say? Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. So we can. Yeah. So that's one thing I think we could do. Just like I said, just tie that to end with black men. Black men, I think we need to just start getting more active in our communities. And just doing it to do it. You know what I mean? Not necessarily looking for something in return. Just doing it because this will inspire, I believe, other people to start, becoming more active in their communities and their circles, and doing things. And that's wherever, man. If you go to church, do something for free at your church, man. I don't know. You got a cultural group, you whatever, temple, whatever you into. You know what I'm saying? It's just like start, what I mean,
Do the
giving
work
to
wherever you
give
are.
it, yeah, give start, start like doing that, man. You know how to draw, man. Teach some black people how to draw.
Mhm.
You know how to you whatever stretch, do yoga. Teach some black people some yoga. I don't know, man. Whatever it is you do, math, science, whatever business. I know a brother. He just
And show them how to do it for us.
yeah, for sure, exactly. Yeah, like I just knew a brother recently. He just moved out the country though, but that was his way of giving back. He was like, he was one of them brothers who was real gifted at the day trading. So he used to just teach people how to day trade like once a week, once a month, or something like that. He was just for free. He wasn't tripping, and he wasn't a cat who he had his bread off of it too, so he knew what he was doing. But he would try to teach people how to do it. So, I mean, that's just one of the things I believe that we as men can do. Just start giving back. Another thing that I recommend for men is get you a hobby, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think men need to get hobbies, things that they do just for themselves. I don't care if it's something simple as walking at the park, just, whatever.
Or self.
Yeah, but yeah, like, cause a lot of men, they don't have nothing that they do for themselves anyway.
They're always attached to something.
yeah. And as we know, being a man is an act, it's a job of servitude. And it is what it is. You got to serve others. You know what I'm saying?
You
It
got to
come
serve
with
yourself too.
Yeah, it come with the gig. But to keep yourself centered, I believe that that's something that all black men need to do. They need to have something that they enjoy that they just do for themselves, not necessarily for anyone else, but just for themselves. Like I said, even regardless of what that is, just that emotional health, mental health.
The
We
healthy.
often
Yeah.
talk about, black men's mental health and emotional health. I think one of the things that will help a lot of black men because as you know, being a black man, probably even yourself, we often make little time for ourselves. And most of the men that we do know who are highly stressed or highly frustrated or most of these men don't do anything for themselves.
Mhm.
Absolutely nothing. You know what I'm saying? If you start talking to many black men and like, well, brother, what do you do for yourself? And then you be surprised. I would challenge both of y'all to do that. Just the men in your circles, just start asking, brother, what do you do for yourself? and
Mm-hmm.
it's like many of them do nothing. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So they have all this pressure they carrying. You don't ever get no chance to release. So find something that you
I know.
enjoy. So black men. I know we behind men's mental health and all that, but that's something that I would recommend for a lot of brothers is find something that you like, that you enjoy, and to engage in that as much as possible, and and just do it for yourself so you can have that release of stress or frustration or confusion or anger or what are those
Mm-hmm.
any of the things that come from you know not having that release.
Ashe.
So
On
I
that note,
yeah, recommend that.
Brother Siraj.
Yep. So it was an honor and pleasure to have you. It was
Appreciate y'all.
brother. Yeah, we're grateful to have your energy and to receive your wisdom.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, also
Yeah.
too, I want to say, man, I just started a Substack page for people who into that. Right. I post writings, essays,
Mm.
things like that. It's FOTI, FO dash TI Bantu. FOTI Bantu.
Bantu,
And
Bantu.
BANTU. Yeah. So it's
Mm-hmm.
FOTI Bantu. And I'm just gonna be posting different essays, different issues, dealing with things like that. You know, way open to the and any ideas people got, things they want to build on. I'm down with it. Also, man, I wanted to plug this book to y'all real quick, if I could. I recommend to read this book with studying Dr. Wilson. It's called The
Mm-hmm.
Racial Hierarchy by
Mm.
C. Paul Grandson. Um, this brother has a YouTube channel as well. I believe it's called Xenogenesis. This is a real thorough brother right here. He talks about a lot of issues pertaining to black men and things that are put in place to, subjugate black men and to offset things like this. But he's talking more, he's a psychologist, he's an evolution psychologist in particular. But he talks about this psychological nature that has developed against, white men in particular. But he talks about other groups of men, period, the desire they have to conquer black men. And it's called the
Mm.
racial hierarchy. You know what I'm saying? And
Sound like
they,
he was inspired by someone.
yeah, oh yeah, Dr. Wilson as well, because like she
That's
said,
right.
white supremacy teaches all of the groups that it's okay to bother black people, not us, because black people, black men in particular, have the greatest genetic potential to dominate all other ethnicities. So, like she was saying, by default, you know what I'm saying, on a subconscious psychological level, other men and groups of men tend to view black men as a threat because it's the genetic potential the black male has to dominate all those other genealogies. You know what I'm saying? So, and he talks about it more from a theory evolutionary perspective in this book. And that's the same thing. I wanted to say that before we go. Like we hear a lot right now, right, about the great replacement theory. And so, again, like I say, this is once again white supremacy proving Dr. Wilson correct because they're talking about how them as white men will not be replaced, and it's causing them to commit these acts of violence on non-white men. You know what I'm saying? And like she said, it's this fear of being erased, and you hear that
Absolutely.
now, and that's a white theory,
Yeah.
the replacement theory. You know what I'm saying? And she
What
was
Mama
talking,
Bala will say, this is crest, not checkers.
yeah, for sure, no doubt,
And I
because
put the link for those who may want to go back. I put the link for the book in the chat. YouTube.
yeah. Yeah, this is a good book. This brother, like I said, he got a YouTube channel, man. He does a lot of good detailed stuff, man. I recommend any black person, but particularly black man. This brother gives up a lot of good information, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a lot of good information, and then, like you said, it's pretty much kind of in context. That's why I said if you study Wilson and his works together, you you gonna be on point. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like he he goes in a little bit more detail about certain things that she don't go into, and she goes into details about certain things he don't really touch on. But because yeah, we see a lot of the things that Dr. Wilson said is manifesting right now. The Great Replacement Theory, Brexit
Mhm.
going on in y'all largest European nations, them trying to
Mhm.
get the non-white people they dominated out of their so-called countries. It was they fear that we're going to be genetically annihilated. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? We're going to be under producing. So yeah, it's like
Mhm.
a lot of her theories are being proven correct in this time.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I want to thank y'all for letting me come and share the whatever little information I have. And I got a lot
A
of
lot of
different.
that.
Right. No, I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all so much.
We appreciate you too,
Indeed.
brother.
Okay, no
Okay,
problem.
okay. So once again, to our worldwide African family,
Yeah, yeah.
BB Fodier.
A
Until
BB
next time.
Fahodie. Uhuru
Mm,
Sasa. A BB
Mhm.
Toomey. Black Power. Free the
peace
land.
and love.
Straight like that. You know what I'm saying?